Hi, this is Daryl Meyer from Keller, Texas. Today is Wednesday, August 4th, 2010. Okay, so just a couple of days since YouTube announces that videos can go to 15 minutes. I filmed this once today. I went over. Yeah, drives me nuts. Okay, a lot of news happening today, so let's get right into it. This first story out of IsraelToday.com. I've actually seen this all over the internet today, but the headline that caught me says, "Shocker. UN backs up Israel in Lebanon border crash." To the surprise of many Israelis, the United Nations on Wednesday confirmed that Israeli soldiers were unjustly attacked by Lebanese army forces during routine maintenance along the border a day earlier. I brought that story to you yesterday. A member of the UN Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, released a statement noting that the Israeli army had notified the world body of its intention to conduct maintenance work very close to the Blue Line, which is the internationally recognized border. Israel regularly cuts down large trees in that area between the Israeli security fence and the Blue Line, which is still sovereign Israeli territory, in order to deny Lebanese terrorist forces cover for attacks on Israeli border towns. I can confirm that we received notification from the IDF about the work, and we passed the information on to the Lebanese army, a Hungarian diplomat working with UNIFIL stated. But the Lebanese used the information to set up an ambush. As the Israelis began their work again on Israel's side of the UN border, Lebanese army snipers opened fire, killing the Israeli unit's commander and critically wounding one of his deputies. Israeli tanks returned fire and were attacked by Lebanese anti-tank missiles. Israeli artillery then pounded the area. Israeli army commanders noted that Arab journalists were already present on the Lebanese side of the border, proving that the clash was a planned ambush. The Lebanese army later issued a statement via France's AFP news agency confirming that it had fired first, but insisting that the Israeli troops were on Lebanese soil. UNIFIL officials said that is not true and that the Israelis did not cross the border. So, and Ban Ki-moon, the UN Secretary General, tried to pretty much ride the fence when he responded to the incident, and he called on both Lebanon and Israel to exercise extreme restraint and mourn the life on both sides. I'm sorry, the UN is worthless. Worthless? So, clearly, Lebanon ambushed Israel. They even called the media, said, "Hey, come film this. We're gonna kill some Israel soldiers." Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah said his terrorist militia had closely monitored the clash and was ready to jump in at any moment to back up the Lebanese army. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned that any future attacks by the Lebanese or Hezbollah would result in severe Israeli response, and he sees the Lebanese government responsible. Just more problems over there. Excuse me. This story out of the telegraph.co.uk. Hezbollah threatens to join violence on Lebanese border with Israel. They've threatened to get involved, sparking fears that tensions in the region could spiral out of control. So now 5 people have been killed in this clash along the Blue Line. This is just gonna be a little flame on the fire there. Oh, wait, fuel for the fire, sorry. Sometimes my mouth doesn't quite do what my brain tells it to do. Here's a story out of Yahoo.com. Iran claims to have S-300 anti-aircraft missiles. This out of Tehran. Iran has obtained 4 S-300 surface-to-air missile systems despite Russia's refusal to deliver them to Tehran under a valid contract, a semi-official Iranian news agency claimed today. The Fars news agency, which has ties to the country's most powerful military force, the Revolutionary Guard, said Iran received 2 S-300s from Belarus and 2 others from another unspecified source. Fars didn't elaborate, and there was no official confirmation of the report. Russia signed a 2007 contract to sell the S-300s, but so far has not delivered. The sophisticated anti-aircraft missiles would significantly boost Iran's ability to defend against airstrikes, and Israel and the United States have strongly objected to the deal. So, here's a story saying they have 4 of these. You know that's going to put a little pressure on the U.S. and Israel if they want to put an end to Iran's pursuit of nuclear weapons. Now, if they have these systems in place to defend themselves a little better, it's going to up the ante a little bit. I would be willing to bet that is going to make a response a little quicker than it might have been planned. We'll keep an eye on that. Here's a story out of English.people.com. It says Iran to launch a submarine in the Persian Gulf soon. Iran's army commander, Major General Ayatollah Salahi, said that a submarine will be launched by the Iranian Navy in the next 10 days, the official IRNA news agency reported. The submarine will be used whenever the Iranian vessels are in danger, he said. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh, but it just seems kind of funny they have this one submarine that they think is going to protect their whole fleet against all the ships that are over in that area right now. I have a feeling this submarine will not last very long. Just my thoughts. Okay, you may have heard about this assassination attempt on Mahmoud Ahmadinejad today. I'm not sure what to believe on this. Several stories have conflicting reports. I'm going to read a couple of them to you out of theguardian.co.uk. Iran denies claims of assassination attempt on Mahmoud Ahmadinejad. Homemade grenade in initial reports was a firecracker used for festivals, say officials. I looked through several reports on this. The first one said, oh, it was a hand grenade and the guy was caught, and then they start changing their story. Nah, it's a firecracker, no big deal. Who knows? Do we know the truth? Anyway, reports of an assassination attempt on the Iranian president Mahmoud Ahmadinejad were denied by the Tehran regime today, which said the confusion stemmed from a firecracker being mistakenly described as a grenade. The Iranian website, Karbaronline.ir, said a homemade grenade exploded near Ahmadinejad's presidential motorcade, which is western Iran, as he was on his way to address a crowd. But they said that a local youth had thrown a firecracker as a sign of joy and blamed the use of the words homemade grenade for the confusion. In other stories I saw where they had arrested a guy saying that he was the attacker, and it didn't name the guy, which I thought was kind of strange, because I'd be willing to bet if he truly threw a grenade, we won't hear from that guy ever again. He'll probably disappear and no one will hear from him ever again. But who knows? Hand grenade, firecracker, they're so close to the same. The media tells us what they want us to hear, and who knows what's true coming out of Iran. Who knows? Here's a story out of yahoo.com. Egypt admits that rocket attack was from its own soil. This out of Cairo. The deadly rocket attacks on Israel and Jordan's Red Sea ports were carried out by the militant Palestinian Hamas group operating from Egypt, an Egyptian official said Wednesday after days of denials. Immediately after a barrage of rockets crashed into the sea near Israel's Eilat resort town and killed a taxi driver in Jordan's Aqaba port, Egyptian officials had strongly denied the attack had come from Egypt. The security official said Hamas had fired 7 rockets, including one which misfired and left debris near a security facility in the town of Tabah. So, here we have Israel is pretty much surrounded by enemies. They've got Hezbollah, Lebanon on the north, they've got Egypt, they've got Hamas on the south. They are so surrounded by people that just want to do them in. And it's just getting worse and worse. Here's a story that just made me cheer today. This is a happy story. Well, yeah, I think it's a happy story. This out of stlouistoday.com, STLtoday.com. Prop C passes overwhelmingly. Out of St. Louis, Missouri, voters on Tuesday overwhelmingly rejected a federal mandate to purchase health insurance, rebuking President Barack Obama's administration and giving Republicans their first political victory in a national campaign to overturn the controversial health care law passed by Congress in March. Yay, Missouri! I love this story. The citizens of the Show Me State don't want Washington involved in their health care decisions, said Senator Jane Cunningham from Chesterfield, one of the sponsors of the legislation that put Proposition C on the August ballot. So, take the whole Democrat-Republican thing out of the picture. The health care bill is evil, okay? It mandates us all to pay for government-paid-for abortions. It has RFID chips involved in many people, so they can track us, it forces you to buy health care insurance at an inflated cost. Don't want it. So here's Missouri saying, guess what? Washington, take your health care bill and shove it where the sun don't shine. I love that, and I hope more states jump on board, because guess what? We don't want the health care bill. Don't want it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. I love that. I hope Texas comes up with that, because I don't want the health care program that's being forced on us by Barack Obama. Okay, here's a story out of CNN. Remains of John the Baptist found in Bulgaria? You know, I told you about this thing they found in Bulgaria last week. They claim they found the remains of John the Baptist while excavating the site of a 5th century monastery on the Black Sea island of Sveti Ivan, or St. John. Anyway, they opened this basilica on Sunday and found it contained bone fragments of a skull, a hand, and a tooth. They think it belongs to John the Baptist. They're going to do further tests on the fragments, but, you know, I mean, do they have any DNA from John the Baptist? I don't know what kind of tests they're going to do, but I thought that was just an amazing story. If it truly is John the Baptist, that would be awesome. You know, yesterday I brought you a story out of Psalm. David was talking about his bed. Got a lot of replies from people on that one. But, you know, let's kind of continue in that vein. Let's go to Psalm 4, verse 4. It says, "You are not a God who takes pleasure in evil. With you the wicked cannot dwell." That's not it. I'm sorry. That was 5, verse 4. Let's go to Psalm 4, verse 4. And that says, "In your anger do not sin. When you are on your beds, search your hearts and be silent." You know, a bed is an interesting object. It's something we can all relate to. Almost everybody has one, whether it's a mat on the floor or a California king. Pretty much everybody has a bed they sleep in, so you can relate to this. But another interesting aspect about beds is that they typically reveal who we are. I mean, we are most transparent and unpretentious when we're in our bed. We can wear a lot of disguises out in the world. We can pretend to be someone we're not when we're at work, when we're at church, or at the gym, the supermarket, wherever. But when we go to bed, all the superficiality is stripped away, and we become the person that we really and truly are. Our beds represent the most personal and private parts of our lives. And it's here, in this place where our true colors are revealed, that the psalmist calls us to meditate or dwell upon the things of God, who He is and what He's done. Why here? Why in our bed? Because God wants us to acknowledge and invite Him into every aspect of our lives, especially the most personal and private places. Nothing should be off limits to Him, and if that makes us uncomfortable, it's probably a sure sign that something is off in our lives and needs adjusting. If we can't be close to God in the place where we are most real, are we really ever close to God at all? We need to see our beds, the place of rest and repose from the world, as a sanctuary where God is invited, and not a place where we retreat from Him. So, I ask you to invite God into every corner of your life and every part of your existence. Get Jesus in your hearts, people. It's going to help you in the long run. Let's go to Psalm 63, verse 5 through 7. "My soul will be satisfied as with the richest of foods. With singing lips my mouth will praise you. On my bed I remember you. I think of you through the watches of the night, because you are my help. I sing in the shadow of your wings." Psalm 139, verses 7 through 10. "Where can I go from your spirit? Where can I flee from your presence? If I go up to the heavens, you are there. If I make my bed in the depths, you are there. Even there your hand will guide me, your right hand will hold me fast." Let's go to Daniel 4. Oh, I didn't mark that verse. Let's pass that one. Luke 8, verse 16. And this was Jesus talking. He says, "No one lights a lamp and hides it in a jar or puts it under a bed. Instead, he puts it on a stand so that those who come in can see the light. You are the light. Spread the good news of Jesus Christ into all the world." Let's go to Hebrews 13, verses 5 and 6. In the last part of it, it says, God said, "Never will I leave you, never will I forsake you." So we can say with confidence, "The Lord is my helper. I will not be afraid. What can man do to me?" I urge you, in your bed tonight, pray to God. If you don't know Jesus Christ, ask Him into your heart to save you from your sins. God bless you. Good Lord willing, I'll see you again tomorrow.